Nicholas Waugh, the trade deadline acquisition. The Avs went after depth, and depth comes through big time to secure a 2-1 victory in OT and a 2-0 series lead headed out to the state of California on Thursday night. Nicholas Waugh, his second career playoff overtime goal, and Waugh beats Forsberg. That's right, Avs fans. You heard it correctly. Artemi Panarin, a third period goal to put the LA Kings up 1-0. Gabriel Landeskog on the back door ties it up just 3 minutes later, and 7 minutes and 44 seconds into overtime, Nicholas Waugh, off a rebound from the shot off Josh Manson's stick, is the hero in the Mile High City tonight as we welcome you to Between the Pipes. Alex Ryan, that's Mark Springer hanging out with you guys tonight on Twitch, on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, wherever you guys want to get us. A thriller this evening that took about 90 minutes longer than it needed to, but the Avs have a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely dawned on me early in game one. I was like, hey, there's a Forsberg in goal for the Kings, and there's a Waugh at forward/center for the Avs. Wouldn't that be something if Waugh scored on Forsberg? And lo and behold, that's what we got here in this game 2 overtime. The Avs were the better team. The Kings, look, they did what they were destined to do tonight, and that was be bags in the first period in particular. Hey, remember when Sam Malinsky hit the side of the net and that puck stuck there?
Yes.
That happened about an hour and a half ago. Not the longest overtime. 7 minutes, 44 seconds, and lots of block shots. I mean, especially in overtime, I was like, geez, every freaking shot is getting blocked. And that's the way that the LA Kings play. But Josh Manson, I think that shot got blocked, but Nick Waugh, who we've seen kind of use that body net front to, move guys and gather pucks. And, he's really good with his hands on rebounds. We saw that when he came over at the trade deadline, down the stretch for the Avs. And that was the difference in this one. What a trade deadline. You know who I was thinking tonight? I was like, man, he hasn't done that much in this series. Is Nazem Kadri. It's got a little ghosty down there at third line center right now. Now he's third line center. It is what it is, but it was Nick Waugh, the magical trade deadline acquisition. Forget Nazem Kadri. It's all about Nick Waugh.
And this comes right after Nathan MacKinnon should have probably ended it. Brant Clark makes an unbelievable block on the back door, a beautiful passing play for Colorado to find MacKinnon wide open for what I believe would have been either his third or his fourth overtime goal in his playoff career.
I think it would have been third.
Okay, third. Thank you, Spring.
I think I recall that graphic.
A sensational block from Brant Clark, and then he also blocks the Josh Manson shot that Waugh just happens to be in the right spot. And I think this is something that the Avalanche absolutely have to take notes from, which is it doesn't have to be perfect. I know the Landeskog goal was perfect, right? It's a beautiful pass across the crease. Forsberg's not in the net, but how many times did we see it? The 3-on-1 that happened in the second period, right? Where Nate just tries to thread a pass far side rather than going back to a teed up Cale Makar. They had a 3-on-1 from the red line in and didn't record a shot on goal because they're trying to find the perfect shot. So what I hope this is like, go to the tape and realize you're going to get your looks, right? Just by the way that the Avalanche play hockey, you're going to get these offhand, one time, you've beaten everyone, tic-tac-toe looks. It's just going to naturally happen because of how good Colorado is. You don't have to force the issue. What you do need to force is these crazy fucking shots that just bounce off something, and Nick Waugh just turns around, finds a puck, and slaps it on his backhand, and it just so happens to go past a guy who's basically been unbeatable through the first two games in Anton Forsberg, man. 5-on-5, Colorado continues to be really good. I didn't think they were the best team for the final. So the overtime goal scored at 7:44 of the OT period, Spring. For the final 27 minutes and 44 seconds, I think Colorado was only the better team for like 6 of those.
Yeah. Yeah, the Kings up their game. They got some offensive zone time. They got it was on the power play. And let's see, which penalty was it that put them on that power play? Parker
It was
Kelly,
the Parker
high
Kelly
stick. And that was a high stick. And now Panarin is kind of low as he's, in the high left slot, but still that is a high stick in the high shoulder, low chin area. And that's why they traded for Artemi Panarin. Okay. 1-0 Kings. It's a little like Avs haven't scored yet, and they've been out shooting LA. They've had how many posts did they hit in this game? And like you said,
I think they're up to like 7 in the series.
Unreal. And like you said, Anton Forsberg has played well, and he took this job. He took this job from Darcy Kemper. And I think that's why you saw some of the overpassing is this frustration of, we got to move this guy.
We got to be perfect to beat him.
Yes. And so, the 3-on-1 where Nate just feeds it across to whoever it was, but it was Mikey Anderson who did break it up. Nice play by him. It's like, I'm thinking, Marty, just shoot that. And then look, the extra pass in overtime to McKinnon, I thought for sure, as soon as that got through on the McKinnon stick, I thought
the game was over. The game was over.
It was like the Olympics all over again, except this time it was a block shot instead of a wide shot by Nate. And it's funny that I guess the Landeskog one. Okay, that's a pretty play. But the Lehkonen goal is Nate just throwing something from a corner.
Right.
OC's goal is off of a turnover forced by Jack Drury, really, and kind of an errant pass by the Kings. But, a neutral zone turnover. It's 3 out of the 4 goals have not been pretty. They don't have to be pretty. But Anton Forsberg has them feeling like they have to because he's playing really well. Like, give this guy, this is a former senator. He's a guy that I've really nothinged and is just kind of one of those middling. And maybe he's, where Scott Wedgwood was several years ago, right? Credit to him. He's playing very well.
It's a really good point.
Speaking of Scott Wedgwood, once again, this dude's absolutely locked in. Scott Wedgwood, Scott Wedgie is locked in right now.
I wonder, does this change my thought process about game 3? I don't know if I can take the net away from him right now. 2 power play goals are the only things that beat him. And the 2 power play goals are a 6-on-4 that go through a million bodies. And then a Panarin shot that not only should not have been a defensive zone draw. Now, the replays happened. It didn't seem like it hit the referee in some of the replays. In some of them, they did. I guess I have to just defer to the referee saying, hey, it didn't hit me, therefore it has to stay in the zone. It felt like it shouldn't have been a defensive zone draw, but then Devon Taves gets buried in the back. That is as interference as interference get. If you're going to call the interference on Nathan McKinnon, you're not going to fucking call that one. Are you kidding me? So that directly leads to a goal that should have won the hockey game for the LA Kings. Those are the only 2 that have beaten Wedgwood, and I'm the guy who's sitting here going, God forbid you need Blackwood in a second round series against Minnesota or Dallas, and he's been sitting for 3 weeks. I can't take the net away from Scott Wedgwood on Thursday. I can't do it. I'm changing my tune. Can't do it.
Well, and it was going to be that way. It was going to be a game by game, a day by day basis, and see what it looks like. See where, it's one thing to just kind of throw ideas against the wall a week out. It's another to see it play out before your very eyes. And seeing how Wedgwood has looked the last 2 games, including tonight's, he looks as locked in as any goaltender in the league. He looks like the most locked in goaltender in the league. If the fatigue thing becomes a factor, then guess what? They're not going to go 16-0. What if they went 16-0? Could you imagine? Oh my goodness, how awesome that would be. Ain't gonna happen. So, we'll see what his first loss looks like when it comes. And then maybe they can think about McKenzie. But yeah, right now, just he's so locked in. And with the question marks around Blackwood, some hiccups down the stretch. And the Kings showed. I mean, these are 2 1-goal games. Tonight, overtime. Now you go to their ice. I mean, the Kings believe.
The Kings have played 6.5. They've played 6.5 perfect LA Kings periods. I firmly believe these 2 games are like, it's all LA has to give you. There's no other level of the LA Kings. They are
but now
playing.
They get their home ice.
Right, so they do, but they're playing at their capacity, man. And eventually this dam is going to break. However, I still believe this is a good series for the Avalanche. I'm still very much on track to Avs sweep the LA Kings. Now, it's not that I figured there were going to be a couple of close games. I didn't think it was going to be this razor thin in terms of the score through the first 2 games, but I still think it's very good for Colorado, even if it is a 4 or 5 game series, because Minnesota and Dallas are going to continue to kill each other. There's not a minute so far, and I guarantee there's not going to be a minute in game 3 where you're going to be able to just take your foot off the gas and stop thinking about playing hockey because of how LA plays, right? They hit everything that moves. They've got some sort of, it's not swagger, but they're just involved, right? Like they're not dangerous. They're just involved. So the reason why I love this series for Colorado is it's going to be a quote unquote easy series. When you look back and you go, yeah, 4 or 5 games, they're fine. But you're never going to be able to take a shift off against a DJ Smith team.
Yeah, I still think this is a sweep, but this is going to be a tight sweep. And it makes sense. Like this is, they've had these battles with the Oilers. They're a tested team. They're a good team. They're an underrated team, but they don't have the firepower. I mean, McKinnon hasn't scored. Natchez hasn't scored.
Yeah, can you believe that? You have 2 dudes who combined for what, 90, is it 96 goals this season? Something crazy like that, 94 goals, and they haven't touched the net yet? That's good news for the Avs, man.
Yeah, and so you're getting a little bit of depth contributions. You only needed 2 goals to win these 2 games. What a testament to the goaltending and the defense. That's also the forwards in front of them. The PK remains strong as hell. Valeri Nichushkin almost had a shorthanded goal tonight. It was a real nice play by Nuke. That was so close to going in.
Close. Rips off the blocker side pipe.
Yeah, like I think it might have hit the knob of Forsberg's stick. Just we're talking millimeters from pipe in. PK has been great. It's the best in the league. Still got to get that power play going. Man, that's just going to be the thing about the 2025-2026
it
Avs,
is,
isn't it?
It's not going away. It's not going away. It's either going to be terrible and they're going to overcome it, or it's going to be average at best and it's going to help them win a cup. Or it's going to...
When you're the best 5-on-5 team in the league, though, like that means the most to me. But it's, man, because Berto and I were talking today. Berto was like, I feel like the Avs haven't done well in game 2s. I look back on it in recent years. The only game 2 they lost, there was only one it was Dallas last year after they took game 1 5-1 in Dallas. Then they dropped game 2. They've won all the game 2s going back to the bubble in 2020. I didn't look beyond that. The game 2 a couple years ago in Winnipeg, it was the game 1 that stood out to me. They lost 7-6. They allowed 7 goals to the Winnipeg Jets. Alexander Georgiev allowed 7 goals to the Winnipeg Jets. Scott Wedgwood is out here holding the Kings to 1 per game. And that's allowing McKinnon and Natchez and Makar to have not scored, but you're getting these timely clutch plays from Landeskog, O'Connor, Lehkonen, Nick Waugh tonight. And that's how they're winning games right now. Scott Wedgwood. I mean, it's amazing the difference it makes.
Yeah, it really is. It's so very clear. how loud it was in the building tonight, man. When he was announced, I was sitting next to Connor McGahee in the booth, and like my ears popped a little bit because of how loud it was for Scott Wedgwood when he was announced as the starter. The team loves him, the fans love him. His goaltending buddy loves him and loves when he is successful. The save he makes on Quentin Byfield is absolute lunacy. Like, we're talking about an overtime win. We haven't even talked about the 20-minute delay for a glass break behind the LA Kings bench because you lunatics at Ball Arena were celebrating so ferociously after the Wedgwood penalty shot save that we had to wait 20 actual minutes to restart playing hockey. We had that. We had a goal that we thought was a goal, and it wasn't because it was Sam Malinsky. It was just bonkers today, man.
Sam Malinsky diving to
to stop Byfield actually to win the game.
Wedgwood was beat, and Sam Malinsky comes in. Sam was involved in a couple some scrums tonight, and then you can talk about the shenanigans the Kings pulled. Let's see. Josh Manson lays a gigantic hit on Scott Lawton on the PK.
Awesome hit.
Yep.
Get your head up, Scott. Have a tough game, Scott Lawton. Eesh.
Yeah, seriously.
Looks like the Avs got the right Toronto Maple Leaf centerman.
I remember people brought up Scott Lawton's name.
I heard a lot of people talking about Scott Lawton.
And then it's Nick Waugh getting the game-winning goal. Let's see. Kale comes out of the box. Little 3-on-1 chance. Kale hits a post. Then we got a scrum. And who took down Kale? Headlocked him and took him down.
Can't remember.
Can't even remember. There was Malott elbow Jack. Was it Drury? No, it was Kale. It was Kale that Malott elbowed after a stop puck from Scott Wedgwood well after the whistle. My gosh, there was another one in the first period. This is what happens when you get an overtime game and then a million things happen. And this happened way back in the first period. But I would say like the Kings, I knew it, man. I knew that in the first period, and certainly in the first 10 minutes, that's what they were going to do. That they know they're out talented, and that the way that they can stay in this series is to just be those bags. And that's what they came out doing. Not enough, though. Not enough so far.
Certainly not enough so far. Again, I think this is everything that the LA Kings have to throw against you. I'm convinced that's what's going on right now.
You had Mikey Anderson laying a big old hit on Marty Natchez. And then it was it Lawton? Let's see, because Kulak runs in there. Am I mixing them up? Kulak runs in and cross-checks a dude, and then he goes straight to... Good to see Brett Kulak. Brett Kulak, that's the difference between Brett Kulak and Sam Girard, okay? Sam Girard is not running in to jump on top of, whoever just wronged an Av. Sam Girard was never doing that.
Never.
But Brett Kulak will.
And honestly, I don't know if I wanted him to.
Because he was 5'8". But Brett Kulak,
there was no way that he could have done anything.
It's another guy on, what happens with Josh Manson's not on the ice, right? Josh Manson's like the only guy who you'd think, oh, he can do it. Well, now you got another one, and Malinsky, like I said, is throwing it. So that Malinsky-Kulak pairing, when they're out there, they're not afraid. Like, they'll step in. Makar and Taves, they want to, but Makar knows he has to protect himself. Makar knows he cannot do anything like that.
Yeah,
his hands are too valuable. Same with Devon Taves.
He cannot, under any circumstances, get injured for the sake of stepping up for his buddies. He can't. He's too valuable to the team. Man, Cale Makar's defending in the neutral zone today was unbelievable. He stopped single-handedly like 2 or 3 odd man rushes for LA in the second half of that game simply by just being within a stick length and just going, yeah, not going to happen. Sorry, guys. Good luck. his neutral zone defending for me is so freaking good, and it's so underrated. And it's part of the reason why people are like, oh, he's not like the elite. He's not Moritz Sider. I'm like, yeah, because he doesn't spend much time in his defensive zone, because he doesn't let you get into the defensive zone, because of one, he always has the puck and his team always has the puck. And two, when you have the puck in the neutral zone, he closes on you and you can't get zone entries. Like he's so good. I know he hasn't shown up on the score sheet yet in terms of goals. He has been, for me, I think he's been the most impactful Av on the ice who hasn't really shown up on the score sheet.
I agree. Him and Nathan McKinnon. I think Natchez has played well, but has been held in check a little bit. And here we go. This is Natchez's first, he got the playoff run last year with the Avs, and he's been in the playoffs with the Hurricanes. But now he's like, are you a star? You're a 100-point guy. And here he is in the playoffs now. And he's played well. But I think McKinnon and Makar have been elite and haven't scored yet. Kale's been buzzing. Kale's flying into the zone. He's taking it deep. He's activating. He's had multiple looks low on the right side. He's had heads of steam coming into the zone. There was one shift defensively I noticed where he had 2 one-on-one situations on the short left side, and both times he forced the Kings left wing out wide, and it was just really underrated. Nice shift by Cale Makar. So he's doing it on both ends of the ice, and it goes back to what I said a few minutes ago. He's due, McKinnon's due. They haven't scored in the series yet. Natchez is due. Brock Nelson hasn't scored. Valerian Achushkin continues to play well. He hasn't scored. There's so many dudes on this team who they can hit you from all angles. Like there's not one liability on this team right now. There's not a 6D that you don't like. There's not a 12th forward you don't like. Every top to bottom, they are trustworthy. And this is with Ross Colton out of the lineup. This is with Nick Blankenberg, as your 7D. They're healthy. A couple 1-goal wins, fine. These are the playoffs. Get me wins, and they're 2-0.
It's a great feeling, man. I haven't felt that overtime playoff tingle in a while. I came on this show after game 1 and said that the atmosphere inside Ball Arena was sterile. It was nowhere near sterile tonight. And I'm not just saying that because it was a game that went into overtime. The crowd was ready to go from the opening puck drop. It felt real in the first and the second period. It felt like there was something on the line going into the third after having not scored. And this was even after a couple of posts and that crazy long break for the glass break and the fix for that. There was never a second where the crowd ever felt out of it. It truly felt like playoff hockey at Ball Arena tonight. And I do want to make sure that the fans get their credit after I said for the better part of 20 minutes 2 nights ago that I didn't feel anything.
Once again, scoreless. I mean, this one went scoreless longer than the last one. I think the glass break helped. Played some Mr. Brightside, some Living on a Prayer. Everyone gets to sing along, get drunk, get a little extra bar. They stopped selling beer after the second period, right? That was the second period, stayed open a little longer. I think that kind of chilled everyone out and got everyone a little loose. Look, you better believe that when they play the Stars Are Wild, that every second of that series is going to be edge of your seat, and the fans are going to feel it in the arena. They know that the Kings, and credit to the Kings, they're playing well. But the fans know that this is a lopsided matchup.
Right.
Not that anybody's taking anything for granted, but the reality of the situation.
Yeah, they know that this is not anywhere near the end game. They understand that Colorado is going to be fine in this series, even if they were to drop. This is
Nashville a few years ago.
Yeah.
Except you've already won your cup, and you know exactly what you have right now, which was the best regular season team in franchise history, or at least Avs history. Was it Nordiques too? I think it was Nordiques too. The 121
Yeah, the Nordiques never had a better season. I don't think the Nordiques ever had a President's Trophy.
Screw the Nordiques.
Yeah, we can't play in those jerseys ever again. I never want to see those jerseys ever again. They looked cool, but holy smokes, those things were terrifying to watch the Avalanche playing. I'm trying to find a way to get some locker room audio that DMAC just sent me. So sorry
We'll
if
work on
I've been
that.
looking off.
What I'm thinking right now, Raj, is, what does this look like now that it's in LA? I do think there's something there in terms of the potential for LA to get a game. I mean, I predicted sweep to start. I still see that as an extremely real and likely possibility, but given 2 1-goal games, and certainly tonight was a truer 1-goal game in an overtime game. And that's a good sign for them, closer in game 2, and it was already close in game 1, but they inched even closer, and now it shifts back to their ice.
I still don't think that, like, again, LA sucks at home. They are a losing team at home this year, by the way, losing team at home. They're not very good at crypto.com arena. I don't think it does much for them because I am convinced these 2 games that you saw of the LA Kings was the peak of the LA Kings. That is the best game that they can play against the Avalanche. And they have 2 games in which Nathan MacKinnon and Marty Necas and Cale Makar have not scored a goal. And they didn't come away with a single win. And Colorado is, as Blinksy says right here, lethal on the road this year.
Yeah,
I really don't think going home outside of, like, what is DJ Smith going to do outside of getting his top line matched up against someone like what's their matchup that they're hunting for the Kopitar line because of how deep Colorado is, right? Like, they're not going to hunt the MacKinnon line. They don't want that matchup. They're not then going to hunt the Brock Nelson and Gabriel Landeskog and Valeri Nichushkin line because that's a defensive menace. Are they going to hunt the third line? Are they going to hunt the Colorado fourth line, which has been the best offensive line in the series for either one of these 2 teams? So, like, what's DJ Smith going to do with the last change? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, I don't think that makes much of a difference. I mean, typically at home, though, you'll see a little more ozone time. The home fans, the energy. Anton Forsberg making big saves and
he's been awesome,
igniting them for rushes the other way. And when you get that buzz in the arena, it helps a little bit. At the risk of, and I will say one thing, still don't rule out Darcy Kemper playing in this series. I know Forsberg's look great.
Like, if Colorado opens up the floodgates in game 3,
all it takes is 5 minutes. Like, this team is kind of due for 5 minutes of what the fuck just happened. Like, natural hat trick for Parker Kelly. Fuck, I could see it.
All right, Spring, I've got some access to some locker room footage, but before we get to the locker room, let's play this. That was the view from ice level on Nick Waugh's overtime winner. Let's head into the locker room where DMAC and the media chatted with Cale Makar.
Games 1 through 2, you've been able to also show the defensive intensity in winning gritty games.
Yeah, I mean, it's playoffs. You have to be able to win in all different types of ways. We talked about that last time, and I think for us, we know it's not going to be easy. LA is a very stingy team defensively, and they have offensive threats as well. So, again, I think the mindset for our group was really good going in this one and carried it throughout the entire game.
They just feel like it's business as usual.
Yeah, I was listening to some of Cale's comments before the game. Cale's a robot. Kale knows he says the cliche quote and then he gets out of there. And I respect him for that. And I think he's playing well. I think he's playing well so far. A couple people have brought up, and I mentioned this too. Forecasting the shift to LA. Will Ferrell's being mentioned in the chat, and I am looking forward to that. I imagine he will be there on Thursday night. Maybe he'll be dressed as something. Sometimes he dresses as someone. So that'll be fun. But here's the thing, and at the risk of going Jaden McDaniels, I'm not trying to talk shit, and be an asshole about it, but let's just call a spade a spade. What do you think they care about in Los Angeles right now? The Lakers, sans Luka, and Austin Reeves going up 2-0 on the Rockets tonight? Or do you think they give a single solitary shit about the Los Angeles Kings, a hockey team in Los Angeles?
No, I think you're spot on. The fans out there care a lot more, and also understand that LA team, if they get Luka and they get Reeves back and healthy for when they have to face OKC, they've got a puncher's chance with the way that LeBron is playing right now. No, they care about the Lakers way more. And I'm not saying that there's not dumb fans out there. I think
they get good crowds.
They get good crowds. And I think that a smart LA Kings fan goes, we're a little outmatched.
Sure.
And the series is likely over.
Well, this is the Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar World Tour. They're coming to your town. Like, was an Avs fan being like, man, I can't wait to see 50-year-old Drew Doughty or the last hurrah of Anze Kopitar? Love those players, but man,
it's amazing that Kopitar is calling it quits, man. He's still got something.
He does. Is Ovi saying he's going to play another year? It sounds
Ovi's going to play.
And these guys can play. Like Yager played till he's 50. Play for, there's dudes who are willing to play for like $2 million at the end of their career.
Spring here, Scott Wedgwood.
This is your first playoff overtime win. What were your emotions just throughout the game?
Same, give the team a chance to win. Obviously took us late to tie it up. They got one on the power play, but honestly, it's funnest hockey I've played, right? You play under pressure moments. I think mentally over my career, I've kind of been building my own scar tissue, just trying to stay alive and stay in the league. So mentally, I feel like, the playoffs are almost kind of what I've been putting the pressure on myself before I get here. So it's honestly felt like really fun hockey. Obviously, what's at stake, but yeah, it's just awesome to be out there here in the Wedgie chance. Can't not get excited to play.
I love that dude's energy so much. He's not only is he excited, but he's confident, and he can also he sounds confident and grateful at the same time, which I don't think is an easy feat to accomplish as an athlete. I don't think it is.
That's well said. Yeah. Moment's not too big for him, even though it has every right to be. It's like he's ready for this. Like his entire backup career has led him to this breakout moment, and he's not shying away from it, and he's embracing it. He's not cocky. He remains chill as hell. But he's confident. There's a big difference between confidence and cockiness. The dude's confident right now, but he's not cocky. And I think he's soaking in every day. It seems like he's appreciating every moment, and it's not lost on him how freaking cool it is that he's started 2 home playoff games, has been the first star of the game in both games. He's gotten the interview on the ice both games. He's looked incredible, and didn't get the Canada nod, didn't get a Vezina nod, but this is no doubt what matters most to him.
One final look into the locker room. Here's Nathan McKinnon.
Waited out the goalie, got him to bite, and then fed
yeah.
the guy. Just what are you seeing out of the way he's playing?
Yeah, he's been unreal all season. What a pass to Landy, and unreal pass to me in OT. Just, Clark just got enough of a block on it, or it's a wide open net. So, yeah, he's been unreal, and a lot of guys been really good in here.
You got Nick Watt, the deadline, paid a lot for him. What has he brought?
He's been awesome. I mean, he's a great player. He's a really smart player, awesome guy, and Kivy almost scored right before him, and then he found a way to get it done. So it might not be everyone's first pick, but I mean, it takes a full team to win in the playoffs, and everyone's been really good so far.
I know it's easy to sound this way, Spring, when you win 2 games, and certainly when you win a game in overtime. That sounds like a player who is relieved to have the depth that he has around him this year, who is confident and trusting in his teammates that are not only on the ice with him, as he talks glowingly about the 2 passes that Val Nichushkin made this evening, the one that results in a goal for Gabe Landeskog and the one that should have resulted in an overtime winner for him, for Nathan MacKinnon. But he's dialed into everything that's happening. He pulls out the Kiwi thing. He knows that that fourth line has been the catalyst for the Avalanche engine in these first 2 games. He just feels he doesn't feel siloed like he has in years past, where like you go up to Nate even after a win and it just feels like he's exhausted. It feels as though Nathan MacKinnon can look around and go, that guy can win a game, that guy can win a game, that guy can win a game, and that guy can win a game. It's not all on me in my line.
We'll bring this up here. Talking about Wedgwood, I haven't even mentioned the penalty shot save on Quentin Byfield, which was very nice. And then turns out that, and I thought live that Cale did slash Byfield, but it turns out he got all stick on a lift, and it was actually more of a BS penalty shot call.
It was a stick lift, dude. That was not a slash. That was not a hook. It did not get him on the hands. That was a successful one-handed stick lift.
Yep, but Wedgie made an awesome moving save. He's so good at those. His movement is so good right now. His glove is good. His blocker's good. He's closing the 5-hole. I mean, it's the best looking goalie in the league. It really is. I mean, maybe it will be Wedgwood versus Vasilevsky in the finals. Maybe that's what we're headed towards. A battle of
they got to get past. They got to get past Montreal. Those have been
got to get past Montreal games. You're right. They blew. No, did they come back and win? Did Tampa come back and win tonight?
Tampa came back and won in overtime. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Montreal win and overtime loss in Tampa. Yeah, no, that's a great series. These 2-3s. Dallas and Minnesota, dude. It's following the same pattern as Avs Stars. Avs won 5-1 game 1 in Dallas. Minnesota won 6-1 game 1 in Dallas. Then Dallas turned around and won the game 2s. So if the first 2 games are any indication, and last year's Avs Stars series is any sort of correlating factor, or if there's any correlation, which maybe there's not, but Stars Wild is heading 7.
It's going 7.
Off. What does the time off do for you if that's a thing that comes into play for the Avs?
You welcome it. You love it. It's not going to be that long. Like the NHL doesn't do the NBA thing where there's like multiple 3-day absences with games. There is one set, and that's what we're going into right now, where the Avs and Kings get an extra day in this series. Outside of that, it's every other day, man. The NHL likes to get going, and they like to have you on this schedule of like, we know we're going to have multiple games every single day. There's never going to be a lull in the schedule. No, rest is awesome. You want this as much as humanly possible.
100%.
You want to see Minnesota and Dallas beat the living shit out of each other.
100%. Berto had asked me that, so I figured I'd ask you. And,
I understand. Like the rest versus rust.
Answer. You take you don't blow a game to the Kings because you're like, you got to stay in rhythm.
No, that's playing with the hockey gods, man. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to tempt fate, especially like the LA Kings. Aren't they the only team in NHL history to come back from a 3-0 deficit? I'm almost positive they are. There might be a couple of others in NHL history. I know the Kings came back from down 3-0. You don't want to mess with that, man. They're down.
I talked about just even the block shots in this series, all the hits in this series. That's a broken something waiting to happen. Maybe now that I mentioned broken something, that's what's going on with Nazem Kadri. It's the finger.
I thought he
'Cause
was better today than in game one. I thought he was more noticeable.
Similar to me. Don't get me wrong. I notice him when he's moving with the puck, but nothing real dangerous. And maybe that's hurting that. Feels like because Landeskog scores with Natchez, you know, when Landeskog's down there with Kadri and Waugh, and I know Waugh got the winner tonight, but to me, that third line has been the most ghosty of the lines.
Yeah, from an offensive standpoint, but I think they've been fine defensively. And I think that's kind of what that line is here to do, is just don't get scored on and be pricks to play against and be physical. And if that's what Kadri brings, and he's not the same like big time goal scorer, and it helps neutralize some depth on another team in later rounds, I'm totally cool with that, dude. Totally cool with it. And again, it's another answer to your question of it. What does a lot of rest do to you? It makes Nazem Kadri more healthy.
Yeah. And they need to get Nas healthy because look, here's the thing. The Kings, like you said, are going to play like they play similar to Minnesota and Dallas, but Minnesota and Dallas just have better offensive talent in addition to that ability to play the physical, tight defensive hockey with goaltending. The tandem that Minnesota has. And I know Ottinger got lit up in game one, but Ottinger's a good goalie. So, if they're only scoring 2 per game against the Kings, and that defensively and goaltending wise, you're going to get the same thing. Can they sustain 2 goals per game against either Dallas or Minnesota? They got to get Kadri's finger healthy because every weapon you can have to throw at those dudes you need.
Spring, are you trying to tell me that Dallas and Minnesota play a similar style of hockey to the LA Kings?
I think they're both a little nasty. I think Dallas more so.
But that's not the same thing. A team can be physical and a team can also be offensive and fast and open through the neutral zone. The LA Kings are outside of liking to hit guys. They're fucking nothing like Minnesota and Dallas.
I think
I
think Dallas is pretty close. I think Dallas in particular.
Spring, I know you've watched Dallas Stars hockey. What are you talking about?
Dude,
Dallas is fast flowing through the neutral zone.
Combined with, dude, I mean,
because they're physical doesn't mean they're anywhere near the same.
Dude, I'm sorry. I disagree. Watching these Avs Stars games this year, there are multiple games where the Avs are out shooting them by 10. But Dallas is just, they're not creating a ton of chances the other way. But they, when you have, Bischel and Lindell, and Heiskanen is a bigger dude. Don't get him mistaken. Like, they have some D dudes, Harley and I know I'm forgetting somebody else who's gigantic too. They got some dudes who sink back.
Myers, Harley, Bischel.
They will clog it up.
It's not the same thing, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
What I think because the Kings don't push the other way. The Stars will push the other way.
And that inherently opens the ice.
Yes, but of course, but the Stars are still going to pack it in a little bit. Like they're gonna, especially on their ice, those games in Dallas, like they're gonna be tight. You're gonna be fighting for lanes to, on zone entries. You're gonna have to up the goal scoring, and you're right. The game will open up a little bit. And look, are the Kings like the greatest defensive team of all time? No. Like they're good. That's their thing. That's what they do. But it's not like if the Kings were so good defensively, they wouldn't be the 8th seed. So quite honestly, like the Avs should, and they've hit posts. They've had their looks. That's why I do think the dam is due to break. They're due to put 4 or 5 on these dudes in game 3 or 4.
Yes. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I just don't want us to think that just because a team likes to hit you and is physical, that it means they're the same exact thing as other teams that are physical. Like I think they're so polar opposite in their ability to open up ice Minnesota and Dallas that still have the ability to play that physical style and hit everything that moves. But like the good news is through a couple of games with the Avalanche, they've responded to it, right? They've shown that they can play that game. They've shown that you want to hit as much as you humanly can. Colorado's going to do the same thing. Like the hits tonight were damn even, right? Colorado out hit the LA Kings tonight, 29-23.
That's impressive. Yeah, no, hey. Like when you have Mikko Rantanen and Jason Robertson and Wyatt Johnston, yeah, you're gonna push it. When Artemi Panarin's your best player, the Kings, DJ Smith is just thinking. In fact, and you know what sucks is you really can't even win with that strategy in the playoffs. In the regular season, you can. Get me to a shootout. Just get me to a shootout.
Yep.
0-0 doesn't do you a ton of good. If the Avs have to wait 4 overtimes to do it, they'll do it. They're going to get the extra 5-on-5 goal or, you'd like to think a power play goal. Hopefully.
Are they going to score a power play goal? Do we need to talk about that?
Do the Avs get a single power play goal? Did they get one in game 1? I can't remember. No.
They're over
2 goals. Yeah, stupid question. Yeah.
They only had like 2 real power plays tonight because the rest of them got cut down by other penalties.
It was that second power play in game 1 that was good. Outside of that, it's been a lot of hot garbage.
Yeah.
Do they get a single power play goal in this series? And they probably don't even need one.
They probably don't need one. That will not be the case in round 2.
No, they're going to need one in round 2.
Round 2, you absolutely must score multiple power play goals. Multiple power play goals.
Man, at this point, I'm asking for 1. Just give me 1.
They're 0 for 7 is what G Bruin says. 0 for 7. They've given up a penalty shot and they've nullified 3 of their own power plays. It's going great out here with the man advantage.
Yeah. Shorthanded. Wedgwood's had to make a few shorthanded saves in these first 2 games.
It's just this series would be so different. We'd be talking so differently about these first 2 games if you could just score an early goal. If you could score before the 7-minute mark of the first period. Now we're talking about the Avs winning 4-1 with an empty netter and this not feeling as like puckered buttholes as it has for the first, 127 minutes of hockey that we've watched. They just need to score early. If they score sometime in the first period against LA, the Kings will then have to open up, and then Colorado will have odd man rushes and backdoor tap-ins. They just can't sit. It's going to be more 2-1 hockey games if it's 0-0 after 1. If it's 1-1 after 2. You got to score early and get out to an early lead against them.
They're the highest scoring team in the league, 302 goals. And back-to-back scoreless first periods, back-to-back games, scoreless into the back half of the game. Hey man, left is right, up is down. That's the way it's going right now. But hey man, Thursday night. Hey, big Thursday night. Big Thursday night. What's more important? It's the Nuggets game is more important, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know this is an Avs podcast. If I had the power to trade a win for a win, or a win for a loss, rather, I would sacrifice game 3 for the Avs to guarantee a Nuggets game 3 win against the Timberwolves. I would do it and not think twice about it.
Say the Kings get him on Thursday night. I don't think that turns the series by any means.
No.
So yeah, that's an interesting sports radio topic. If you could trade an Avs win for a Nuggets win, would you do it?
I know. I feel bad. I see all of you guys in the chat calling me blasphemous. I get it. I understand.
We happen to be fans of both. I know there's a lot of people watching us right now who are, only Avs, but we like
the Nuggets. The Nuggets need that win, man. Game 3 is everything in that Timberwolves series.
It really is.
Now, if this was 2-0 Avs and they were playing the Minnesota Wild or the Dallas Stars, I would say
not a chance in
Nuggets, go handle your own shit. I'm taking my win and I'm going home.
Or let's just get double wins. double wins would be awesome.
That'll be a little double dip on altitude on Thursday. We're going to be live at Jackson's. Actually, and I know the last time that Spring and I teased this, we ended up canceling. I don't know why it got canceled, but the chili ones thing at Low or was it Jackson's or Brooklyn's? At Brooklyn's, it got canceled. So this one is actually happening. It will be at Jackson's Lodo near Coors Field. We'll have a double watch party. The first round of the NFL draft is going to be going on. So myself and Andy Lindahl will be out there. I will be doing the network broadcast for the Avalanche live on location. We're going to be watching the Avs game, the Nuggets game, and the first round of the NFL draft. Sean Payton, 2 days away from the first round of the NFL draft, was there at the game today, sitting rink side.
Yeah. I knew that was, some of these dudes were going to come out. It's good to see Sean and his lady. And then we had a 20-minute delay. Fan broke the glass by pounding on it. You ever seen that before? I've never seen that.
Never. The closest thing I've seen to that happening was in the late 90s when I don't remember where it happened, but Ty Domi was playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs at the time, and he was in the penalty box. And he and a fan were like jawing at each other. And then Domi turned around and squirted him with the water bottle. And the fan got super pissed off and tried to reach over the glass and get at Domi. And the glass fell into the penalty box with the fan, who was then in the box with like the most feared fighter in the NHL at that time. That's the closest thing I've seen to it.
Okay. That's pretty awesome right there, what you just said. Yeah, I've never, that's got to be. I doubt the fan was like, if you're next to the glass, if you're on the glass, like everyone just pounds the shit out of it, right? Like that's just what you do. I doubt the fan was like overly like more than anyone else has done. That's got to be a weird feeling when you hit it and then it goes through and you realize I just broke this glass that can withstand a slap shot.
I wonder what happened. Like, was it from the motion like this, or I think D-Mac's wife Kim said. I think Kim said that. I don't know where she got this, whether she saw it or someone said it, that one of the guys behind the bench was banging on the glass and he had a big watch on his wrist, and it just so happened that he banged enough times and the metal of his watch just hit the glass in the right space, the right amount of times, the right force, and it shattered? Or was it you grabbed it on top and you're kind of like those videos of like gorillas at the zoo, you're just shaking the living shit out of the bars? Like maybe that was what happened.
Sure. Yeah, and Mel says fan was hitting it high up on the glass, and I seem to remember Mosier and the fellas talking about that. Was it a tall man? Was this the tall man that helped Diana Rossini take that 73-year-old man out of the car? Remember, there was a tall man there. This must have been a tall man to get to the top of that glass.
DJ Smith said that the glass was like hitting him before it broke. So good. You know what, guys? I challenged you, Ball Arena fans, after game one. And you responded to the tone of hitting the LA Kings coach in the back of the head with glass. And then when that wasn't enough, shattering the glass on top of him and the rest of his team on the bench. So I give you your props. Congratulations. You should have been first star this evening.
It's the Thunderdome. Make that glass wave, make it get up on you. That's a big responsibility when you're the fan or fans sitting behind the opposing coach. You got a lot of things you can do.
Yeah, you can either be the lady with the bolt-ons and make everyone stare. You can be the guy in Dallas who dresses up like Jared Bednar. You could be the guys that used to wear the Kelly Kapowski t-shirts behind the Avalanche bench. Or you can be the psychopaths that shatter glass on top of opposing coaches.
I saw somebody on Twitter ask the other day if that Dallas Stars lady fan has made an appearance yet.
I saw a couple of quick cuts in the ESPN games in games 1 and 2. I have not seen the same lady. I have seen other ladies that are doing a good job too.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah.
Way to go. You're ripping her off. Granted, it wasn't the most original shtick she went with.
No one will ever be as good as Edmonton Oilers ladies. So you know what? You guys have a high bar to clear, and you'll never clear.
Didn't work for them though. It didn't work for them. So keep that in mind, everybody. That didn't work.
All right, Spring. Let's get through some scores before we get out of here. It is 1:03 in the morning, and we have long days ahead of us tomorrow.
That's right.
Lightning get a 3-2 overtime win over the Canadiens. Beautiful goal from Lane Hudson on the power play tied this one up for Montreal at 1. They took a 2-1 lead thanks to Josh Anderson's second goal, and then Nikita Kucherov scored his first power play, rather playoff goal in forever for Tampa. That tied it up, and then in overtime, J.J. Moser at the 12:48 mark is a 3-2 win for Tampa. The Bruins double up the Sabres. There was a weird goal in this one where Boston dumps a puck in from their own defensive blue line and it jumps over Jukka-Pekka Luukkonen's glove. And from that point on, Buffalo just simply was not the same. And then the Mammoth get a 3-2 win on the road in Vegas against the Golden Knights thanks to Dylan Guenther and Logan Cooley scoring in the third period.
Yeah, was not able to watch any of Knights Mammoth, but knew that Utah could get a game at least in that series. They were up 2-1 into 2 the other night. This time they pull it out. That Morgan Geekie goal in the Sabres game where Jukka-Pekka Luukkonen let it get through him. It's a backhand, just dumping nothing from the center ice. Like that's. Me and Berto saw that live on the Blitz tonight, and I mean, I was beside myself. That's a terrible goal to allow. And I is that the deepest backhand goal ever scored in NHL playoff history?
With the goalie in the net, probably.
Certainly with the goalie, even empty net. I said to Berto, even with an empty net, you don't often see the backhand. Most of the times that's on the forehand if it's going beyond center ice and in. So yikes. The Magic from game 1 in Buffalo, and they're the better team, but here comes it gets real now. It's all fun and games until you're playing, a solid David Pastrnak and company, and can they gut it out? And we're NBA and NHL. It's getting tight. You got a slew of upsets that just happened. Hawks beat the Knicks. Wolves beat the Nuggets.
Sixers beat the Celtics.
Wemby gets concussed and the Blazers beat the Spurs.
Oh, Wemby ate the floor. If you guys haven't seen the video of Victor Wembanyama taking a bite out of the San Antonio surface, man, that looked like it hurt.
Boston and Utah got wins tonight. It's tightening it up, man. This is parity. Welcome to parity. And really, they're the only outliers are like Thunder Suns and Avs Kings. 1-8 in the West.
Your brackets right now: Colorado 2-0 over LA, Dallas and Minnesota tied at 1, Vegas and Utah tied at 1, Edmonton a 1-0 lead over Anaheim, Buffalo and Boston tied at 1 heading to Boston, Tampa Bay and Montreal tied at 1 heading to Montreal. Carolina's got a 2-0 lead over the Ottawa Senators as they head to Canada's capital, and the Philadelphia Flyers go on the road. They take a 2-0 series lead back to Broad Street. Spring, I think that's it, man. Overtime winner, Nicholas Waugh. Automatically makes the trade worth it.
No, that's now the trade's an A+. I don't even remember what they gave up for Nick Waugh. Was it like a second, something like that? Second and a fourth, maybe?
Something like that. I made a video about it. I can't even remember what I said.
Good riddance, And they only made the trade because they didn't think Calgary was going to retain any money.
Because they didn't think they were getting Nazem
and
Kadri.
Then on
trade
deadline day, they got Calgary to change their mind, and they said, "Screw it, we'll take Kadri too." Well, that Nick Waugh came in pretty handy as well, especially with the Kadri broken finger.
All right, Thursday night. Hopefully, Spring and I will be on sometime around 11:15 that evening after Game 3 of the LA Kings and the Colorado Avalanche. Join me out there live at Jackson's. next to Coors Field for a little double dipperoo and a double broadcast of the Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche. Just a good win, man. A great win for the Avs as they find a way to come back. Do you want a locker room report from DMAC before we get out of here?
He took the time to record it. Let's hear from Darren McKee.
All right, I am loading up the video right now. Give me 1 second, Mark Springer, as we load in.
Let the
Darren
anticipation
McKee's
build for Mr. Rinkside himself.
I'm trying to find the video. It's somewhere on my computer right now. I feel like I am 900 years old trying to make this happen.
Stop buffering.
That's how I feel right now, Spring.
Damn,
this is what you get for
computers.
doing these shows live, dude.
All these
D-Mac?
ones and zeros.
And here it is, without further ado.
All right, I'm standing at the spots where the glass was broken. This is the replacement glass right here, and what a moment. And so apparently, according to DJ Smith, the coach of the Kings, some guy sitting in like the second row, I was told, was grabbing onto the top of the glass, and DJ Smith, the coach of the Kings, said it was hitting him on the head like during the game. And you can see that the sponsorship board is slightly different than the others. If you can look down there, can you see it? I'll go down there. There you go. You can kind of see it's a little bit different than the other one. So it was bizarre, man. Never saw it happen. 30 plus years of covering hockey, never seen glass break from the outside. And you can just tell that they worked their ass off to get it done for sure. And it was bizarre. It was the night of broken glass for the Avalanche, and they had patience. Gabe Landeskog said that it was no big deal. Nobody was freaking out. Everybody was fine, and they were down. Gabe Landeskog said, too, though, they like playing games like this. No big deal. They're fine playing games like this. Grimy games. Nick Waugh getting the grimy overtime goal was exciting, and for the Kings, they couldn't have played much better, and they go back to L.A. down 2 games to nothing. So Wedgwood, incredible. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do. I feel like I'm on camera right now because everybody's going to shoot the broken glass right here. I really, just I don't know how it happened, except if you're grabbing on the top here, I guess. It's bizarre. It's one of the weirder things. And from what I understand, it wasn't somebody sitting here in the front row. Like I said, it's somebody sitting behind here grabbing it. I mean, like, my goodness. Anyways, weird night, big delay, long-ass game. What time is it right now? 1:04. Interesting number. Avs win 2-1. Second time they win 2-1. They win in overtime. It's awesome. Everybody's just exhausted. So in terms of the reaction in the locker room, everybody's pretty happy. Wedgwood was quick with a smile. It's a confident team that can win in a lot of different ways.
All right, Spring. We got the breakdown on the glass and how it broke from DMAC.
Well, so we got, okay, if it's a guy in the second row leaning over, okay, this guy's odds he was blasted. Probably fairly decent, that he's had at least a couple Coors, a couple
and
chili
probably
ones.
a large human.
Probably a large human, but if you're like, let's go, fuck you, DJ Smith, and you're leaning over from that, now you're kind of off your balance and
you're putting your weight on it.
Yeah, you're like probably using it to hold you up in a way.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it was just pressure. Like he's using this to hold him up, and then it just gave. Maybe this guy weighed like 3 bills.
All right, Spring. It's when we talk about how tempered glass breaks, I think it's the end of the show.
And that's Kings game 2.
Avs win 2-1 in overtime. We'll talk to you guys on Thursday night.